Hey guys, this is Nate with Vintage Wave Productions, and today I'm going to show you how you can use Subtractive EQ to effectively unglue or isolate elements of your mix. So I've got a rock song here that's really simple. We've got an organ with a rotary or a Leslie type speaker stereo thing going on, and I've got two guitars, a bass, and a drum set. So let's take a quick listen here. Okay, so pretty simple and straightforward, and you can probably tell there's a lot of muddiness and a lot of extra low-end energy in there. So what I've done on each one of my tracks is I've loaded up a 4-band Renaissance EQ. You can actually use any EQ that has a high and low pass filter on it. So I'm going to start by going through each one of these instruments, cutting a little bit of the low end out. If I hear some muddiness, we'll maybe take a little bit of that out, and then we'll A-B the track with all of the EQs in and then with them out, and you'll be able to see how the mix starts to open up a little bit. Things seem to have their own sense of space and there's some clarity. So let's check our kick drum out here. I'll just highlight a little section of that and put it on loop play. And then I'm going to engage a high pass filter, and I'm just going to kind of listen to this very quickly for the sake of this tutorial. But generally, you'll want to be very acute with this and thorough and make sure that all the sounds overlap in the right places. You don't have anything weird going on. So I'm just going to cut out right here at about 63 hertz, and then I'm going to leave my slope right where it is. I'm going to pull out just a little bit of that boominess, probably about right there. I'm just going to leave that there, and let's go to our hi-hat. And we'll do the same thing here. Whoa, okay. And we can actually come up quite a bit on the hi-hat. It doesn't use the same frequency range that the kick drum will. So I can hear some of the body disappear now, so I'm going to want to move this back down. Probably get good right there. Let's go to our snare top. Same concept. I'm going to take this filter and I'm just going to move it up until I hear the sound of the drum start to change, or the body will disappear, and then I'm going to move it back down. So I want to keep that in there, at least for now. Okay, let's go to our snare bottom. Okay, this snare bottom you can hear has a bleed from the kick drum, so we may want to take a little bit more out of this one. And usually the snare bottom's for the snap of the drum, and it doesn't require the frequency spectrum that the snare top would. You can hear that kick bleeding through there. Pull this filter up. And I'm going to go with that for now. Let's go to our overheads. I hear a little bit of boxy sound in there. Okay, I'm going to leave that right there for now. Let's go to our rooms. And we'll leave that there for now. Let's go to the bass. I'm just going to move this up until I hear it change a sound and then come back down with it. Normally what I would do is I would find the fundamental frequency of each one of these instruments before I move the slope of the filter, the slope or the frequency of the filter, just to make sure that I wasn't cutting out the frequencies that the instrument actually needs to cut through the mix. So let's see here. Find that boxy sound that's in there. Going to widen the Q up, or the width of the filter, and just pull that back up there. Great. So let's go to the first guitar here. You can hear there's a big change right there. A lot of energy down there. So let's leave that there. Pull out a little bit of that boxiness right in here. And this is not very accurate, but for now it'll work. And the other guitar actually sounds fairly similar, so I'm just going to copy this over by holding the Option key down and then clicking and dragging this. Whoops. Anyways. Let's check this out and make sure that that transferred over. There we go. Perfect. Let's go down to the organ. Okay, so now that we've roughed this in, let's go ahead and take all of these plugins and bypass and listen to this again, and then we'll apply the EQ. You can kind of see how things pop out of the speakers a little bit, and then the low end cleans up. This is bypass. Let me pan these out here. In. Okay, and let's take them back out. You can hear that, how that energy comes back in and muddies everything up, how things seem to like move more towards the center of the speakers. Now with the EQ filters in, the mix opens up a little bit. And let's take a listen to that one more time. Filters in. Filters out. Filters in. So you can kind of hear how the kick drum sinks down in the speakers just a little bit. The bass does as well. The guitars pan out a little bit more to the left and the right, and it gives everything a sense of space. So now what you could do is you could start compressing, and you could do some post EQ. Post EQ after you compress, and then start running some effects. So I hope this helps as a way for you to start cleaning up your mixes. You can always email me at nate@vwavepro@gmail.com. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Take care.